I'll never forget this. This is a very true story. Jerry was coaching the team over, they had training camp over in Hawaii. And I'll never forget this. I walk in, the camp started on like a Tuesday, and I got to Hawaii on a Wednesday. And I walk into the gym, and I look, and I'm not kidding you, there's 5 or 6 players on the sideline sitting on a chair with their ice all over their bodies. And I look on the court, and Danny Ainge comes running up to me, and he goes, "You won't believe this, you won't believe this." He goes, "Ralph," talking about Ralph Sampson, "Ralph can't even run. He can't run, he can't run." And Jerry, and I've known Jerry. Jerry was probably one of the very first people I met when I moved here in 1987. And you know, Jerry's always laughing, smiling. I mean, you won't catch Jerry Reynolds in a foul mood very often. And even when he is, he'll let you know, he's always smiling, whatever. So after the practice, all the media, we got around Jerry. And Jerry, you were, to use your term, you were like a rained-on rooster.
I was. I mean, you know, when you've got such gifted guys like Joanne Oldham and Ben Guillory over there hurt, you know, and you're really worried if they're healthy sometime. So yeah, it was not an optimistic time for the Jerry Reynolds at that time, because you know, it's like Danny Ainge told me. He said, you know, I think I've spotted our problem. I said, well, please share that with me. He said, I'm your best player. I said, yeah, you are, Danny. I said, that's pretty. He said, I should be about the 5th or 6th best player.
Well, I'll tell you seriously about this, and I said this when Vlade Divac was having his jersey retired. What makes this town so special, and what makes you people so special, is that you almost treat this team like a college town. And for someone like Scott to be able to come back here year after year, when he went on and played with other teams like Indiana and Cleveland and Boston, and yet he comes back here and you treat him like he was one of the greatest players, which he wasn't, of the history of the franchise. You know, no, and I really mean that. And people always ask me, because I get asked to do interviews around the country, and people always ask me to talk about Sacramento. Why is it so special? Well, what we're doing here tonight is why it's so special, because you're able to come out on a Tuesday night, and for a guy like Scott to be here and fly in from Kansas and spend 4 or 5 days in the community, you know what, I'm telling you, and you would know better than I do, it doesn't happen everywhere in the NBA.
No, it doesn't, and as Grant said, it's because of fans like this. People ask me what my favorite Kings memory is, and it's the same as when I was in college. People ask me what my favorite memory is of being a Jayhawk, and as Grant said, I'm a big supporter of the Kansas Jayhawks, and I still live out there. But I come back here because this feels like a home to me, and my favorite memory as a King is running out of the locker room and being into that, getting under the court, and hearing 17,000, 18,000 people just going crazy. And that doesn't happen everywhere in the NBA either. And that's always going to be my favorite memory, is just running out on the court and hearing that. But thank you very much for coming out tonight.